Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is the digital asset investor. I got a little bit of a late start this morning, but I had put several little articles together that I saw this weekend that I thought were something we needed to go over because these are important for what's going on today. The first article that I found was by Deloitte, which is one of the big audit companies of the world, and Deloitte had done a survey. They had done a survey of 1,000 global blockchain savvy executives from 7 countries, and they wanted to figure out kind of what the trends were and what people thought about blockchain. And what they really came out with was that this was going to be a breakout, that the breakout moment for blockchain was nearing. And it says the paper manifests a crucial shift from the stage of learning and exploring DLT, distributed ledger technology, to the stage of exploring practical cases, but real culmination will be in the future. Blockchain is getting closer to its breakout moment with every passing day. And what that means is that you're getting closer to your breakout moment with your digital assets that you hold, hopefully XRP. It said almost 3 in 4 executives claims that their business units see a compelling business case for the use of DLT, and about half of these blockchain enthusiasts has already made real steps to try blockchain with a company. 41% respondents pointed that they are going to implement blockchain in the coming 12 months. And I think that's pretty huge. So moving along, I wanted to show you this because this is huge. This is talking about how BACT, which if you haven't seen yet, BACT is the cryptocurrency exchange that's being created by the New York Stock Exchange, or ICE, which is the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. But it says here that it could increase the Bitcoin ETF approval odds by adding trusted price information. And I'll kind of show you what this is about. But more or less what they're saying here, and what this is really about is, as I've told you before, the BACT exchange, the New York Stock Exchange coming into this game, is going to put the stamp of approval on cryptocurrencies. And just by them opening their exchange, automatically that's going to signal to, whether it's the SEC approving ETFs or the retail investors, it's going to signal to everyone that the water's warm and it's nice. Come on in. And they're going to give the approval, and they're going to legitimize what we've been saying and what we knew was going to happen all along. The world just needed to be told by the existing infrastructure people, which would be the traditional exchanges of the world. But here I wanted to show you, it says the SEC mentioned both of these issues when they rejected the 10 ETFs in the last month. Part of the reason that they said was there's a lack of trusted price information, and there was a reliance on futures markets and derivatives. But what this says, this was said by the people that are doing BACT the other day. A critical element to price discovery is physical delivery. Specifically, our solution, the buying and selling of Bitcoin, is fully collateralized or pre-funded. As such, our new daily Bitcoin contract will not be traded on margin, use leverage, or serve to create a paper claim on a real asset. And so what they're basically saying in here is that they are going to give the world legitimate price discovery in Bitcoin. And when they do that, that is going to open the way. The SEC will then be able to say, hey, okay, now we've got legitimate price discovery, and all the other issues that we've been talking about are going to be solved, custody and those type of things. And the SEC is then going to be comfortable. They want to be comfortable. That's why they're doing the review of their own staff and their decision on these ETFs, because they are dying to be comfortable, because they know that the world, the other countries of the world are going to be coming out with ETFs anyway, whether they like it or not. And the United States is not going to let the whole world beat them to the punch on this, as I've said before. All right, moving along. I wanted to show you this because actually a guy that one of the guys that I communicate with via email, he sent me this morning, and I didn't ask him if I can mention his name, so I'm not going to today. But anyway, this is by Grayscale, okay? And I've shown you in the past, the reason I'm showing you this is to illustrate a point, and also to show you how right now, if you have money that you are not able to put into physical XRP or physical Bitcoin, whatever it is you're into, there's a way through your IRA. If you have money that's going to stay in your IRA, this is yet another way that you can get exposure to digital assets. Grayscale has come out with this XRP Investment Trust. Now, this does not buy directly into XRP. It's more like an index. So XRP goes up X amount of percent, your investment would go up, not exactly, but it would generally go up with how XRP goes up. But it shows you here that you can put it in your IRA. Now, you're going to have to ask your financial advisor about it, because not all companies, like if you're with E-Trade, they may have this investment trust, but Schwab may not. So you got to ask and see if you've got the ability to invest in this particular trust at your broker or whoever. But anyway, it's pretty cool, and the reason I show you this is because if they're coming up with XRP Investment Trust, wait till those ETFs get approved, because those of you who have not heard me talk about it before, the reason that the market has, when they disapprove these ETFs, the reason the market has been hit the way it's been hit, and the reason it's so important, and let this sink in really well, because this is huge what's about to happen. When the difference between this XRP Investment Trust and what they're trying to approve for Bitcoin right now is the difference between money going directly into these digital assets and money not going, just being tied to the ups and downs like an index. Okay, so what they're trying to get approved, when they approve it, what they will in essence be doing is they will be approving millions, billions, even trillions of dollars that will then start to come into this market. And the money is not going to be invested into these ETFs and then just go up and down based on how the actual digital asset goes up and down. It will literally be money that is invested directly into Bitcoin. And then eventually they're going to do the same thing with XRP and all of these other digital assets, or at least the top 10 or 15. You will have ETFs that are invested into a grouping of digital assets, and the money will flow directly into the people that run these ETFs. Will put the money directly into the ETF, into the digital assets, and that will change the world. Okay, moving along. I wanted to show you this. This guy is the CNBC crypto trader. Now, I am literally on a daily basis dumbfounded by how otherwise intelligent people have bought into a line that they've heard by many of the Bitcoin maximalists and many of the people who just hate XRP for any number of what their reasons are. But I'm blown away by guys like this guy who for years now, he's been anti-XRP, and even to the point where he got on CNBC in this clip here and said that you should just fold instead of holding your XRP, when he obviously knew absolutely nothing about what he was talking about. Well, the reason I show you this is because this past week he runs, and it's a good channel to subscribe to. He has the CNBC Crypto Trader channel, which is I think out of South Africa, and he covers a lot of interesting things having to do with cryptocurrencies. But he went on here and he interviewed Ashish Birla from Ripple, and I think Ashish Birla pretty much set him straight pretty well. And if you want to watch it, it starts at about the 50-minute mark. He shows himself being interviewed on CNBC, and then he goes to Ashish Birla. But like I've told you before, I don't ever show these, I don't ever go through these videos because I don't want to get hit on the copyright thing on YouTube. And so I don't ever show videos. But you can go watch this, and when you watch it, I'm going to show you the article that kind of covers what Ashish Birla said now. But in so many words, the guy from Crypto Trader said that in this thing on CNBC, he said that he just doesn't understand XRP. It has no use case whatsoever, as if Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies do. But he says, I just don't understand. XRP just does not have a use case. Well, I think he got pretty well schooled by Ashish Birla in this, but you go and watch it. Okay, I'll tell you what Ashish Birla kind of said, which is important. This is an article. Let me have some coffee here. I'm just getting off of a bit of a cold, and so I'm doing the best I can here. All right. It says Ripple, this is from Ashish Birla, our clients prefer XRP over fiat for cross-border transactions. Okay, as you know, for the last few years, for those of you that have been in, all we've heard by the people that hate XRP, and let's get down to it. The real reason they hate it is because XRP is the best, and they know it's the best. They know it's the fastest. They know everybody. I don't care if they love Bitcoin. They know that if digital currencies were invented today and you invented XRP side by side with Bitcoin, Bitcoin would be used for toilet paper. And that's just the fact, because everybody and their brother would be saying, why would I use this one if it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours to transfer, when I can use this one and it takes on the high end 3 seconds to transfer the digital asset? I mean, there's not really a discussion there. And that's just common sense. But anyway, I want to get back to this article. This is an article that covers what was said by Ashish Birla in that YouTube video with the Crypto Trader. Ashish Birla says, we asked our customers, and using XRapid, which is the Ripple product that uses XRP, using XRapid, the volatility that our end customers are using, the XRapid end customers are using, is only a few seconds. And so we asked them, a few seconds of XRP volatility, how do you feel about that? Because that's one of the things the naysayers are saying also. Well, what about the volatility that goes on during that 3 seconds that that these customers would be holding XRP? And he says, and overwhelmingly they said, listen, I will take a few seconds of XRP volatility versus holding Mexican pesos for weeks or months like I have to. Because the volatility of a few seconds of XRP versus the volatility of a week holding a local currency is a huge difference. They'll take the seconds in XRP any day. This, my people, this is going to change the world. When this is realized, when the fact that using a digital asset like XRP is as fast as it is, and it's only going to get faster, when that is actually realized, that in combination with what has been done to destroy the world's fiat currencies by governments of this world, when that is all factored in, the populations of this world are going to flock not just to XRP, but to Bitcoin and many of the top 10 or 15 digital assets. And they're going to do it out of fear and for safety as well as all of the use case and all of the other great reasons that I tell you should be invested in XRP. So, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Okay. I also wanted to go over Hoder's blog. He did Brad Garlinghouse is right. It's about the use case. Okay. And it is. And I titled this video, Ripple XRP Breakout Moment Will Change Everything. And I'm referring to the use case of XRP. It's right on the horizon. We've been told not just by Ripple, executives at Ripple. We've been told by them. We've been told by the customers of Ripple. We've been told again in this interview with Ashish Birla. We've been told at least 10 to 20 times by customers, by Ripple themselves, in multiple articles, multiple videos, that XRapid is going live in 2018. And when it does, the world changes, because the second that the utility actually goes in motion, all of the naysayers immediately are proven wrong. And when that happens, even they will be behind the scenes buying this as fast as they can. Okay, but back to Hoder's blog. This is Brad Garlinghouse is right. It's about the use case, and I'm going to read you the last paragraph. So often the last paragraph of Hoder's blogs are right on point, and let it sink in well. It's always about the use case. In your own portfolio of cryptocurrencies, what coins do you own? Take a look at each one and then ask yourself, what problems is it solving? If it does solve problems, does it solve those problems the best? Why or why not? As the crypto market matures, it will go through phases of change where those cryptocurrencies with real utility and solid use cases are elevated above those that are based on flawed design. Ignore the temporary noise in the market and do not doubt your critical thinking. Brad Garlinghouse was right. The use case matters above all other concerns, even first mover advantage. He's referring to Bitcoin there, I'll say it. It's been made crystal clear now that the production version of XRapid will happen by the end of 2018. XRP's volume increases won't happen all at once, but innovation adoption has a tendency to surprise all concerned. The use case for cross-border value transfer is super massive and will only grow as its transactions are made real time and the cost drops to near zero through usage of XRP. It's a network effect that may truly be extraordinary to watch in its early stages, and only those clever enough to realize its potential will participate and fully enjoy the victory that is almost at hand. And I think that I'm about to change the title of this video. I like what he used here, super massive, and I also like the victory is almost at hand. I may change the title of my video. I really like what he writes. Okay, but moving on. All right, I keep bringing this up to you, the Fiat crisis that was going on in Turkey. There was an article written on Zero Hedge about Turkey's crisis and the dollar's future. And more or less what they're talking about is how the dollar's future, the countries of the world, remember, the US dollar today and for a long time has been the world's reserve currency. The countries of the world are sick and tired of the United States being the world's reserve currency. Russia, China, all of these countries, including Germany. I read an article the other day about how Germany they're all gearing up for this not to be the case. And history will tell you that no one controls the world's currency historically over a long period of time. At some point it ends, okay? And you lose control because you become irresponsible with the power you've been given. And I wanted to read just a little bit of a snippet here for you, okay? And this relates to your cryptocurrency holdings, and not just XRP, but XRP, as I keep telling you, is the best digital asset ever created, and so for that reason, it would be the best one to hold, and having to do with this as well. No, the reason certain EM countries are losing purchasing power is the fault of individual governments and their central banks, who do not seem to realize that their unbacked fiat currencies are valued purely on trust, both that of their own people and on the foreign exchanges. And as we should know, trust is not something to be toyed with. All of these fiat currencies across the world for way too long have been backed. They removed the backing of gold and silver from the United States currency. And many countries across the world in turn have done the exact same thing. And for that reason, I was telling my father on the phone this morning, there is not a reason in the world. For those of you in the United States, you will completely identify with this. The price of a movie ticket when you go to the movies is unbelievable now. And there's not one reason in the world that the price of a movie ticket today in 2018 should not be the same price that a movie ticket was in 1950. And the only reason that it's so ridiculously overpriced now versus 1950 is because the governments of the world have destroyed the value of our money because it's backed by nothing. For this reason, cryptocurrencies were invented. Bitcoin was invented for this exact reason. This is the ultimate cherry on top, okay? I said the other day, I was talking about how the cherry on top would be if XRP was, declared a world currency and this type of thing. Well, the real cherry on top is when the population, or maybe it's the second cherry on top, when the population, when it truly sinks, when it truly dawns on the populations of the world, that the governments of the world have destroyed our currencies, not just the United States, but all of them. If they're not backed by gold and silver, they've destroyed our currencies. And one day that's going to be realized, and it's going to be realized in a financial crisis, which in my opinion is imminent worldwide. After the financial crisis in 2008, they fixed nothing. And when they fixed nothing, all they did is kept printing money. Look no further than the U.S. debt clock. Go check it out. I've shown it to you before. Go check out that debt clock. When the populations of the world finally realize what's happened, and I'm sorry I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but it makes me passionate and angry every time I think of it, what they've really done and continue to do. But when the population finally realizes it, and I can even tell you when they're going to realize it. They're going to realize it when we hit a financial crisis and these governments turn to you and tell you that it's your patriotic duty to help them bail out the problem that they've created. You as their population is going to have to bail them out. And when I say bail out, they're not going to give you a choice. They're going to take it out of your bank account like they did in Cyprus. But anyway, this I had to show you because as these currencies collapse and as these governments enter financial crisis because of the problems and the debts and the printing of money and all these problems they've created, they're coming to you. And guess where your money will be safest is in a digital asset that they can't make more of, XRP. Okay, moving along. Don't just listen to me, okay? How about this guy that I'm going to show you now is the co-founder of Reddit, okay? And this was an article that I saw. I've been telling you my internet was trying to slow down on me. I have been telling you about the fiat currencies and the danger of the collapse of these fiat currencies and how the safe haven will be digital assets at some point. Well, this is the co-founder of Reddit, and this article was on which one is this? Mbit. Bitcoin has real traction as a store of value amidst economic crisis, says Reddit co-founder. Well, if you go down here, he says, right now as a store of value, there is some real traction. And actually, as we are seeing countries like Turkey that are having significant economic crisis. So in other words, he's saying exactly what I've been saying as well, is that we're at a crossroads. The world is at a crossroads in terms of the financial destruction that has been wrought across the world by destroying our currencies and printing us into oblivion. And the time is at hand. All of these roads are going to converge. The convergence of the creation of this new asset class is going to meet at the same time that XRP has a use case and the world realizes that there's a use case for a digital asset. At the same time, there's going to be an entire new market created as Wall Street comes in, and at the same time, the financial crisis is right there on the horizon because they have set it up. We've been set up. And if you're sitting in XRP, your life is going to change for the better while the world's changes for the worse, in my opinion. Okay. I wanted to mention this to you. CNBC is doing a Bitcoin boom or bust. They're doing a cryptocurrency documentary, and it's tonight on CNBC at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I just wanted to mention that to you for what it's worth. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee this morning. Okay. I wanted to cover one other thing, and I hope every once in a while I stray a little bit away from cryptocurrencies just because you guys, some of you like it, some of you don't. If you don't, turn it off now. I wanted to cover one thing, tell you one brief story. When I was a kid, I remember walking through the hallway near my bedroom, and I don't remember when I did this, but I was inspired to tell you about this for a reason. I spend a lot of time around people's children because I'm taking my kids to sports, and I spend time in various things, doing carpools and taking children to this or that. And I've been around a lot of different parents that have raised children as I've been raising children. And I've learned one thing, one of the number one thing in watching children grow up is you see a lot of the things that are being done wrong in the raising of children. And to me, our number one job, those of us that are parents, and many times I talk to many of you because a lot of you are younger that are listening to me, but both the younger and the older that are listening to me right now, listen real clearly, because you, the younger people, a lot of you are affected by about what I'm about to tell you. But I'm going to go over this really quickly. I was walking through the hallways in my home when I was a kid, and I don't know if my mother put this up, I'm assuming she did, but it was a poem. I don't read poetry, but I stopped one day and I read this, and it stuck in my mind for the rest of my life. It's a poem by Dorothy Nolte, and it's about children. And I want to tell you this because I see it in children every day, and many of you that are listening to me, I hope you listen to not just learn something about cryptocurrencies, but to learn something about life. This poem is called Children Learn What They Live, and I'm going to read it to you. It's really quick. If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with fear, he learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with pity, he learns to feel sorry for himself. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with jealousy, he learns what envy is. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns to be confident. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with praise, he learns to be appreciative. If a child lives with acceptance, he learns to love. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with recognition, he learns that it is good to have a goal. If a child lives with sharing, he learns about generosity. If a child lives with honesty and fairness, he learns what truth and justice are. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith in himself and those about him. If a child lives with friendliness, he learns that the world is a nice place in which to live. If you live with serenity, your child will live with peace of mind. And so at the end, they ask the question, with what is your child living? And so I ask you, with what is your child living? Because if you're raising children, your biggest job is to put out something better than the way you grew up, in my opinion. That is what my mission is. And the younger people that are listening to me right now, you may be living through a terrible childhood. And to you, what I would say is you're at a crossroads. You have a choice. And your choice is very simple. You can either use that as an excuse for the rest of your life, and you can go on and do drugs and abuse alcohol and end up in prison. You can take that path. Or You can do what my father-in-law, as an example, both of his parents died when he was very young, and he had a terrible situation. And what he did is he went and found a mentor and a football coach and went on to play football at Mississippi State, and then had a family and a successful life. So I pass that along to you all, and just for what it's worth. All right, next, I wanted to show you this, and I'm almost done, but I go through, these are the things we are in the middle of changing the world with the cryptocurrency, and so I want to show you this. I saw this guy on Twitter, he told Wirex, I'm doing a few hundred photos of wallets for Amazon today. This kind of hit me. He said each one has a Wirex card. This just kind of hit me as like, this is how the world's changing right now. We're about to have we've got cryptocurrency payment cards now. You can go at the end of each of my videos, I show you these things because these are the things, this is how we're changing the world right now. Right now you can go and get a Wirex, and this isn't just a payment card. You can load up your cryptocurrencies on it, and you can exchange them for fiat currency. You can go and buy things with it, and it's even got Bitcoin rewards. And so you can go into the description of each one of my videos to get that. Also, those of you that are new, I talk about the Ledger Nano S. There are many people who have had their cryptocurrency stolen off of exchanges. Do not keep your digital assets on an exchange. Go in the description of any of my videos. It'll take you straight to Ledger Wallet, and that you can get a Ledger Nano S and store your digital assets offline with the Ledger Nano S. Also, if you want we've got XR Community Sweatshirts. We're going into fall now, into football season, and we've got XRP Sweatshirts to keep you warm while you watch the prices go up, because we are on the precipice of the market going ape. I appreciate everybody listening. And I wanted to tell you that I'm the digital asset investor. I am not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I want you to please subscribe and hit the like button. And I really appreciate all of you watching.